Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to Star Wars Aspect. Now before I get into anything for this video, I do want to say that this video does have spoilers for Mandalorian Episode 8. So obviously if you haven't seen it, I guess just don't watch this video because you probably won't want it spoiled. So right at the end of the episode, just when you think Moff Gideon is dead, it turns out he's totally alive. And he's swinging around what looks like to be a black-bladed lightsaber. Now this black-bladed lightsaber is called the Dark Saber, and it was actually built by a Mandalorian. The Dark Saber has shown up in other shows too, such as the Clone Wars and Rebels cartoons that talk about the more recent history of Mandalorians. The Dark Saber was built by Tar Vizsla, a Mandalorian who is also a freaking Jedi. The Dark Saber is about 1,000 years old in Rebels, which means it's only about 1,010 years old in The Mandalorian. The point is, it's super old. In the Clone Wars, Darth Maul stole this thing from legit Mandalorians. In Rebels, the Darksaber was wielded by a real-deal Mandalorian, Sabine Wren. Now, it's in the hands of former Imperial officer Moff Gideon, who we learn was involved in the siege of Mandalore at some point in the past. So how did Moff Gideon get the Darksaber? Here is one of my theories. After Sabine wielded the saber in Rebels, she handed it off to a Mandalorian leader, Bo-Katan Kryze, which is the last time we saw it in canon, until now. In Mandalorian Episode 8, Mando also mentions that Gideon was part of the Siege of Mandalore. Considering that he was an Imperial officer, that implies he probably took a bunch of sweet Mandalorian stuff that wasn't his. Now if this is true, it might mean Bo-Katan is dead, which is too bad because, in my opinion, she's a pretty good character. Or the Darksaber could be a different one. This is extremely unlikely only because Rebels went out of its way to explain that the thing was literally one of a kind. That said, The Mandalorian has added a few new wrinkles into the traditions of Mandalorian culture, so the idea where there were a couple of extra Darksabers lying around isn't totally ridiculous. Because the Darksaber is literally a lightsaber built by Mandalorians, anyone who has watched Rebels and the Clone Wars probably should have seen this coming. We knew regular lightsabers probably weren't going to show up in this show, but the easiest way to get a lightsaber onto the Mandalorian is just to bring on the only Mandalorian-made lightsaber. It seems reasonable that in Season 2, Mando will get this thing out of the hands of Moff Gideon and swing it around himself. But if Baby Yoda becomes an actual Mandalorian foundling, then it makes sense for a grown version of Baby Yoda to wield the Darksaber as his lightsaber. I'm not saying that we'll see that in Season 2, but sometime down the road, it seems to make sense. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, maybe consider subscribing or liking the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. May the Force be with you.